Hey guys, Andy from Backbone Adventures, ATV and Jeep rental company in Estes Park, Colorado. So some of you might know we run Kawasaki machines. We also run Polaris four-seaters until the rest of these Kawasaki four-seaters come out. But what I want to talk to you about today is a known issue with 2020 and 2021 Kawasaki KRX 1000. So in those years, they don't have a temperature, what's the word I'm looking for? A temperature safety switch of some sort of mechanism like that, to where if it gets too hot, it'll shut the motor down. 2020 and 2021 they don't have that. And we've lost 2 motors already this year due to that. Now in a rental company, granted our customers probably aren't really paying attention to the temperature gauge. But it'll just run away in these machines, and eventually what it does is it smokes the stator, and then melts the oil pump. There's a plastic housing in there inside the motor for the oil pump, and it melts inside of the crankcase and basically ends up being a full motor rebuild. So that's a known issue, not a very good thing to have happen. It's unfortunate that Kawasaki didn't put those in there, but in the 2022s and 2023s, supposedly they have that. I don't know where that part is located on here. Maybe somebody knows and they can put that in the comments down below. But I wanted to let everybody know that if you're dealing with an older KRX, really watch that temperature gauge. And what happens, I'm gonna turn this camera around and show you here. So what happens, the fans on these KRXs, it's definitely the weak point in the machine. It's the only weak point we can really find. And all of our machines are, 3,500 miles now. And the fan will, if you go through an excessive amount of water, or you're power washing like we're doing over here right now, we keep that power washer off of the radiator. Just use like a hose or something, but we won't squirt directly on the radiator because it goes through, hits the fan, and the fan just isn't sealed up tight enough, and water gets in there and we catch them. So we run, what we do before any of our machines go out is we let them idle up to temperature, which is 186 degrees, and just before it turns to 187, that's when the fan kicks on, and then it runs up to 188 or something like that, I think, right in that neighborhood, and then comes back down to 185, and that's when the fan shuts off. So if you do that, just warm up your machine to that temp. Obviously make sure you're good to go on coolant in your overflow tank here. If you do that, listen for the fan. It should sound normal, but if it starts to sound clunky, like it's almost got a grind to it, you can even feel back in there with your hand, and get your hand in there and spin it, and it should spin nice and free, not make any noise at all. If you hear just even the slightest grinding noise, or it's turning just a little bit hard, not just totally free, then you should replace that fan, because it'll just take a shit on you out of nowhere. And if you're on a trail and you're quite a few miles back in, you're gonna have to limp that thing home, make sure it doesn't get too hot. It's going to go over temperature just a little bit, shut it down, let it cool off completely, run it another few feet or whatever it's going to take to get it off the trail safely. Otherwise you're going to end up with a catastrophic failure. That's only in the 2020s and 2021s. Like I say, if there's somebody that knows something about the 22s and 23s, where that part is located, or if it's part of the ECM, I'm not even sure. I'd like to know about it. I've done some looking on schematics and haven't been able to find an individual part like that, but from what I understand, it's in these machines now, so it will shut the motor down rather than just let it run away and explode inside. So I wanted to give you guys that update. Other than that, there's nothing bad I can say about them. I will say on this four-seater, I'm going to turn it around. Ripped this thing about 150 miles now. We haven't rented it to a customer, so it's just me that's ripped it. And I got a banging noise that I cannot figure out. I've had it up on jacks, playing around with suspension, the bushings, sway bar, steering, shocks, the shock bushings. I've tried everything and I cannot figure out that banging noise. It's an initial hard hit on, you know, a rough edge surface, you know, like a rock or something like that. But if you hit it really hard, nothing. But just kind of a medium-sized hit, I'm getting a banging noise, and I don't know. This doesn't happen on any of the 2-seaters, but just this 4-seater. Just want to make you aware of that. Keep an eye on that, and it might just be this Fox live valve shocks. I don't know. I mean, I've tried soft, medium, hard. So anyway, anybody has any comments about that, put it down below. Maybe help me out a little bit. Otherwise, great machine. Like I say, put some serious miles on it. It's done, you know, for just myself in just a few days, and it's done pretty damn good. So have a good day.